What is up, people, and welcome back to my Rags to Riches F1 2010 to 2014 career mode. This is the career mode where we go from one of the worst teams in F1 2010, work way up through the ranks and through the teams and try and get a drive for one of the best teams in F1 2014. We are currently in the F1 2013 season, round 9 of season 4. Looking at the driver standings, we're in P7 at the moment, which I believe is a Toro Rosso seat at the moment for F1 2014. However, we are only 1 point behind Kimi Räikkönen. If we overtake him, we get a Force India seat for 2014. If you're unsure of all the rules, it's all down in the description below for you to go check out. But basically, wherever we position in the driver standings, that sort of determines which team we drive for in the F1 2014 season. So at the moment, 7th is Toro Rosso, for example. 6th will be Force India. But we'll be looking to try and close in on the top guys. Hopefully we can get maybe a decent team at the halfway stage of the season. Or hopefully we could also maybe get a win elsewhere, or a bit of a lucky break, and try and close in on likes of Kimi Räikkönen, which we are only 1 point behind, so that's not really too big. But likes of Fernando Alonso, Mark Webber, and Nico Rosberg, and possibly get into the top 3, which would be pretty decent indeed. Looking at the emails going into today's race, race results data from the previous one, unfortunately, it was only 8th place. I mean, it's still points on the board, but it's not as much as we probably would have liked at the British Grand Prix. Teammate challenge, just getting absolutely thrashed by Kimi Räikkönen. That one, that's slightly disappointing. And information for this weekend's Grand Prix, it's going to be nice and dry for the whole race weekend, which is really nice indeed. So, nothing else to talk about, so without any further ado, let's head over to the race weekend for the German Grand Prix. It's time now then for one-shot qualifying here at the German Grand Prix. Unfortunately, we've got a little bit of traffic ahead of us, but we just need to make it through the final corner, down towards the line, and let's get this lap underway. DRS activated, and hopefully we can get a little bit of slipstream from these guys ahead of us down in towards turn 1. Hopefully as well they don't hold me up too much. I'm just going to go up the inside. Jules Bianchi, barge him out of the way. Jules, get out of the way, man. Thank you very much. Okay, so it looks like I am going to be quicker than the Marussias, which is a good thing. I need to be quicker than those guys. I want to get into the top 10. I feel like having Guido van der Garde directly ahead of me has really hindered this lap. It's 2.3 seconds slower than the pole man at the moment, which is Sebastian Vettel, which is really frustrating. But in towards the final chicane, hopping over the curbs there, trying not to lose the back end. And as we take it down towards the start-finish line, whereabouts this is going to be good enough for, I'm not feeling very hopeful about this lap. I feel like I've beaten the back markers. I feel like I've smashed those guys. But whereabouts is going to put me? Okay, 13th. That's actually not too bad. I was expecting worse than that. 13th place is not too bad at the end of the day. Yes, I would have been hoping for better. I feel like maybe I was held up a little bit by Guido van der Garde and Jules Bianchi down in towards turn 1, but also I haven't driven on this track since F1 2011. No practice at all going into it, so I feel like P13 is a pretty decent position to start the race in. Any other surprises? Not really. Jenson Button, actually I was going to say Jenson Button down in 9th place, but McLaren aren't exactly the best team in 2013 seasons. That's not really too much of a surprise, but Sebastian Vettel, he lines up on pole, beating Nico Rosberg by 1/10 of a second. Both the Germans topping the front row there. Fernando Alonso 3rd, Lewis Hamilton in 4th, Mark Webber in 5th, Kimi Räikkönen, my teammate, beating me once again in qualifying in 6th place there, with Felipe Massa 7th, Nico Hülkenberg in 8th, Jenson Button 9th, and Sergio Perez rounding out the top 10. So, what can we do from 13th place on the grid? Let's find out. It's race day here at the German Grand Prix, round 9 of this F1 2013 season of the Rags to Riches career race strategy for today, starting on the option tyres and pitting for the primes on lap 7. Cautious fuel strategy of this 15-lap race. Teammate challenge, just getting destroyed. Absolutely destroyed by Kimi Räikkönen. He is one qualifying session away from completely out-qualifying us on that one. But I've never said that I'm good at qualifying. I always say that I'm better at the race, and hopefully we can prove that point here today. 13th on the grid for today's race, 0% chance of rain, nothing else to talk about. So let's head down to the track and get today's race underway. Sebastian Vettel lines up in pole position for today's race with Nico Rosberg alongside him in 2nd. There's my teammate Kimi Räikkönen, 6th on the grid, whereas I am in the midfield, packed down in 13th place. Not a good qualifying session, but better than I expected, to be fair, so I'm not too bad. I'm not too ashamed about 13th place, but the lights coming on now as we go to 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go for the German Grand Prix. It's a good start compared to the driver on my right-hand side, trying to get the inside line down in towards turn 1. Looks like Pastor Maldonado has only gone and done that. So Maldonado going way up the field. Oh, we've gone into the back of McLaren there, but still managing to hold on to our front wing. Moving up through the field. Actually, no, staying in 13th place there. And now going up the inside of Sergio Perez. Can we get the job done onto the grass? But we've got the job done on Perez, sort of. Up the inside of Massa as well. Yes, there we go. Up the inside of Felipe Massa. And now sticking just behind the Force India of Paul di Resta. Good start so far in the race. A terrible start for Kimi Räikkönen, though. He is way down the field in the bottom 10 at the moment. So good start for me, bad start for my teammate, and that's really going to help me in the championship and try and get the car that's directly in front of me at the moment. Of course, that is the Force India team. But here we go, down in towards the hairpin. Have a little look up the inside of Paul di Resta. And there we go, lovely move up the inside of the hairpin and moving up into P7. Oh, there's a driver run wide. It's a Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton getting all caught up with somebody else. Mark Webber's been held up because of Lewis there. So that's going to give me a great opportunity maybe to have a look up the inside down in towards this chicane. Now I'm going to go around the outsides. Those guys both going defensive. I've gone around the outside, taken that position, nearly losing the back end there, but now setting right behind Nico Hülkenberg and moving straight up into P5 for the time being in this race. What a start. What a start to this race. Right, DRS is now activated. Lewis Hamilton probably going to go for the overtake down in towards this chicane. He's right on my tail. I'm going to take the defensive line once again down in towards this chicane, holding the inside line and still managing to hold position, drifting quite a bit through that chicane there. But I'm still holding on to P5, and that is all that matters at the moment. Okay, tyre wear now on our front left is seriously bad at the moment. Look at that, red, full red at the moment on our front left, which is not good at all. We are still going to try and hold out and see whether we can stay out until our pit stop phase, which is, of course, not this lap, but on the next one. We just have to wait and see for that. But we are struggling at the moment. Massa now overtakes... Oh, no, Massa doesn't. He has a little bit of a battle there with Lewis Hamilton, but doesn't quite get past him. So if those two can just carry on battling with each other, then it just takes my mind off of those two, and I can sort of carry on with my own race. Okay, I seriously need to come into the pits on this lap before my tyres explode. Look at that. Just look at those tyres as Lewis Hamilton once again looks to go for an overtake down into the chicane. Going to outbrake him into it. And just taking the inside line, and there we go, job done. But we're coming into pits this lap. We're going to have to. Look at the tyre wear. There is no way we can stay out any longer because our tyres are just, they're dead. They are just, look at that. Just look at it. Red. Full on red on the tyre wear. Which is just terrible. But into the pits we come for down towards Lee. Just make sure of that. And I'm not too sure whereabouts it's going to put us. It says it's going to rejoin in 13th to 17th place. So I'm not really too surprised about that. And hopefully we get out ahead of this cluster of cars. We're going to get overtaken by this guy. Drop down into the bottom 10. But we should stay in. We should stay. Oh, I did not mean to do that.
Nothing to see here. Please disperse.
But we should be able to stay inside the top 10 as we exit the pit lane now. Up the inside. No, we've outbroke ourselves onto the marbles. And we've been overtaken by the Force India driver. But we may be able to have a sniff up the inside once again. No, we don't. On these cold medium tyres, we are going to struggle a little bit, but they're going to be on worn tyres. We've got some fresh tyres underneath us, so hopefully we can use those to our advantage. Oh, loose to the back end there. That's not what we want to do. Get past Paul di Resta, not get held up at all, and get on with our merry way once again. Should have a good opportunity to go for an overtake on Paul di Resta. Looks like he may be going slowly. He was going very slowly down that straight there. Ah, dipped it on the grass, but I should get a good exit out of here. Use a bit of KERS, use a bit of DRS. And let's see what we can do on Paul di Resta. Mark Webber all over my tail at the moment in that Red Bull. Where's Paul di Resta going to go? Defensive down in towards the chicane. No, he's not. Paul di Resta, mate. What are you doing? Don't do that to me, buddy. Oh, it's on your right-hand side. You don't need to squeeze me out like that. Just squeeze me completely off the track. But luckily, no damage. We get past. And we're able to carry on with this race. But that was a little bit scary. It's going to come out ahead of Kimi Räikkönen. And ahead of this guy here, Lewis Hamilton, currently in the lead of the race. He is not yet pitted at the moment, but we are out in P8 at the moment, which is pretty decent. Ricciardo ahead of us, yet to pit as well. So let's see what we can do in the rest of this race. Ricciardo then neatly comes into the pits ahead of us at the right time so that we don't get held up there by the Toro Rosso drive. Around the final corner, who else is in the pits? Where is Felipe Massa and Lewis Hamilton? They are coming out the pit lane now. Looks like they may rejoin ahead of us, which they do, unfortunately. And yes, unfortunately, we have lost out to the Ferrari and the Mercedes driver. We may be able to get them back because they're on colder tyres, but it seems highly unlikely because they were very quick compared to us before we came into the pits. Looks like I've got company here on lap 12 of this German Grand Prix. Jenson Button right on my tail at the moment. Is going to go defensive down in towards this chicane. Kimi Räikkönen right on his tail as well. Of course, me and Kimi are battling in the championship. Jenson Button is way off of me in the championship at the moment, so I'm not really too fussed about whether he gets past me, although I would really like to hold on to this P7 and the points that come with it. But Jenson Button ahead of Kimi Räikkönen at the moment. That's where I'd like it to stay. But Kimi Räikkönen will certainly be trying to get past not only Jenson Button, but myself as well. So we'll have to wait to see whether he can actually do that. And I'm going to try and defend my hardest across these last 2 laps. Okay, tyre wear is getting bad once again here at the German Grand Prix. 2 laps left to go in this race, and the front left is not looking good at all. Kimi Räikkönen 2 seconds behind me at the moment. Remember, if I stay ahead of him, I will move above him in the championship. So we definitely want to still stay ahead of Kimi Räikkönen in this race today, so I can get that Force India seat at the moment in the tables. But he's got Jenson Button on his tail, so maybe, just maybe, Jenson Button can do something to give me a little bit of a safety buffer going across these last 2 laps. Oh, that was not a good exit out of that corner, and Kimi Räikkönen's going to have a great opportunity to go for an overtake down in towards the chicane. I'm defending the inside line. If he wants to go for the overtake, he's going to have to do it on the right-hand side, defending the inside line into the chicane. And there we go, holding on to position for the time being, losing the back end massively through that corner then. We're going to have to do it all over again, though, through this straight down in towards turn 1. Of course, DRS is here. Look at the tyres. Oh, my God, I am hanging on by a thread at the moment here on the final lap of this German Grand Prix. But can we do it? Can we hold on to this P7? We're just going to have to wait and see. Kimi Räikkönen can't do anything down in towards turn 1. Into turn 2, still not able. I think his best opportunity will be maybe here. Oh, okay, he had a little look around the outside then, but couldn't actually find anything. But I think his best opportunity will be down in towards maybe the other DRS opportunities. But every time I lose the back end, he just gets a great chance to go for the overtake, and he pounces on it. He pounced on it ever so quickly, so I have to be very, very alert to defend against those. Okay, Kimi Räikkönen's going to have a great run through the Schumacher S's in towards the next set of corners. He may be able to go for an overtake down in towards there, but at the moment he's currently occupied by defending against Jenson Button. So Jenson Button doing a good job as I run it wide, but Sebastian Vettel converts his pole position into a race win for the first time in, I think, quite a while. So well done to Sebastian Vettel winning at his home Grand Prix, as Jenson Button has overtaken Kimi Räikkönen. He may have a chance to overtake me. No, he won't. Down in towards the chicane. I'm going to brake, take it nice and easy through this corner. Do not want to punch the tyres here on this final couple of corners in towards this hairpin now. Only 1 corner left to go. Run it very, very deep, though. Will that allow Jenson Button to have a little look? Maybe. He's going to get a great exit, but we're going to do the job and hold on to P7 there. Good result at today's German Grand Prix. Not quite what we would have liked. We were running up in P5, so we were hoping to maybe finish in P5, but the tyre wear once again was just a bit of an issue. But P7 at the end of the day, can't really complain, and we also managed to beat Kimi Räikkönen. So going through the rest of the standings then, Sebastian Vettel wins today's German Grand Prix, extending or taking the lead of the Drivers' Championship, as he definitely did beat Lewis Hamilton by quite a bit here today. 13 points the gap in today's race between those two, so it'd be interesting to see what the gap is between both of them in the championship standings. Fernando Alonso finishes in 2nd with Nico Rosberg 3rd. Then it's Lewis Hamilton in 4th with Nico Hülkenberg 5th, Felipe Massa 6th. Myself in 7th. Not the best of results. I was hoping to get into the top 5 here today, but we're going to have to do it hopefully at the next race in Hungary. Jenson Button finishes in 8th with Kimi Räikkönen 9th. And then Mark Webber gets the final championship point here today. Daniel Ricciardo and Sergio Perez just missing out on the points. Any real surprises? Not really. The DNF went to Pastor Maldonado, which isn't really too much of a surprise, as you know, he is Pastor Maldonado, which some people like to say I am Pastor Maldonado, which I don't see that. You know, I definitely don't crash into people on a regular basis. Don't know what you're on about. Don't know what you're on about. But let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship after today's race. So after 9 rounds of this F1 2013 season, Vettel moves into the lead of the championship. Or no, he was already in the lead, but he extends his lead over Lewis Hamilton. So the gap is now 22 points. We've moved up into P6, but we're now on the exact same amount of points as Felipe Massa. So not only do we have to deal with Räikkönen, we now have to deal with Massa as well, which is absolutely fantastic. So we are in P6. There is a Force India seat for next season. We would like to improve on that, though. Maybe catch up to Mark Webber and Fernando Alonso. I feel like Nico Rosberg might be a little bit too far away, but we will see what the rest of the season holds for us. So we're just going to have to wait and see on that one. Constructors standings then, and it's still very close between Mercedes and Infinity Red Bull Racing. 6 points separates the two teams there, and unfortunately Ferrari are just getting further and further away from us at the moment. 117 points on board, which is pretty decent, but unfortunately it's not good enough to compete with the Ferrari team. But that's it for today's German Grand Prix. If you have enjoyed the episode, don't forget to smash a like on today's video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so for daily Formula 1 content, and also don't forget to share this video with your friends. And I'll see you next time at the Hungarian Grand Prix, I believe it is. But until then, it's goodbye from me.